round as well. And well, Komai ended up falling for the trap a few times during that last match.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they don't respect the Alolan Raichu enough yet because it's not banned, unfortunately, which is good for us because we might be able to see some more Alolan Raichu. But, I mean, to be fair, I do agree with Komai. Like, these are probably more significant bans, you know, the Rapidash, the Hooper, so very much worth those bans. Talon, I mean, respect to the Charizard ban, I think I do agree with this. The Charizard pick was just too good for Komai in that first game. So, coming into game number 3 here for Komai. Their last draft did well. I wouldn't blame them if they wanted to try and run it again, but I kind of think maybe you need to do something a little bit different. Just kind of come in and surprise Talon to get this surprise victory.
Well, so far, it's exactly the same. No surprises just yet. Potato locking in this Garchomp once again. The Suicune over on their side. So while they may not be switching things up, we'll see if Talon decide to stir the pot here.
Well, Talon might stir it with another Alolan Raichu, and that ends up being the case, but Snorlax gets stolen away. But Crustle is now being hovered by Komai, so a bit of a defender shuffle between these two teams, if they do decide to go for it.
Well, I guess with Marv playing an incredible Snorlax these past 2 games, is now forced, I guess, to pick up this Crustle. And we're talking about overcoming hurdles and the momentum and everything like that. Well, what happens if you become the hurdle yourself? And that is what the Rock Tomb brings with a Crustle. That is a wall that you need to try and jump over, where the RBX can do that with a Snorlax. I think
the question is it going to be an issue, right? Because there are certain Pokemon that can kind of go over the Crustle wall. And
yeah, and through it.
I feel like Talon have a lot of Pokemon that kind of don't care about a Crustle wall. So maybe Rock Tomb. I mean, they can still pick Rock Tomb on the Crustle, right? If you catch somebody, you catch somebody. But I wonder if they maybe go for a different build.
Do you think they're going to go... Shell Smash.
Why not?
Shell Smash? Okay, well, looking at the builds, they have the Experience Share, the Focus Band, along with this Assault Vest, knowing that there is those special attackers over on their side, being Alolan Raichu and Mewtwo-Y as well. So just giving them that extra bulk, the extra shield to try and defend against the damage that they will be bringing this round.
You know, I like the fact that Komai more or less ran it back with only a minor change in their lineup. I really liked how they played last game, so I'm just keen to see how this lineup kind of adapts to the Crustle pick. Maybe, for all we know, maybe Crustle fits better with this lineup.
I guess it could. It could. I mean, if you think about it, the combinations, you set up a Rock Tomb, and then you have a Garchomp coming in and rushing up against them, and there's no escape. I mean,
you've got 2 Pokemon that can follow through.
Yeah.
If you Rock Tomb X Scissor, that's already a long enough disable. That's follow through for your Garchomp. So it's not a new strategy. This is pretty old. It used to be very common. I want to say last year in APAC, a lot of teams love to run this because I don't know why, we love Crustle, but then again, it is very fun to watch.
It is very fun, and also the Dweeble is very cute. But there we go, folks. We are heading on into this final game between Komai Esports and Talon. They are 1 apiece so far. We're going to have to see, well, the pride is on the line here for Komai. Are they able to take down Talon?
Well, I do like what Talon is doing here with RBX. He is being a bit of a nuisance here, stealing away a blue buff for himself. So, unfortunately for Komai, their Zora is going to be set back a little bit, and we'll have to try and get this last bit of experience in that bottom lane. Now, the thing is, you're going up against a Alolan Raichu, who has already fully evolved. They're going to be fighting into that Snorlax, who does go for a little bit of a nap, try to heal up, but just not enough healing, unfortunately. The Zora kicking into gear at the right moment and securing that knockout.
Yeah, well, I guess when you're in that driver's seats, you've got to change that gears at the right time, because you do not want to stall the car and kangaroo. Otherwise, those birds are going to spawn on up, and this is the brilliance that Gabite or Garchomp ends up bringing, being able to push those birds all the way back to Komai's side, while giving Talon a taste of that experience.
And Talon just fully abandoned that lane, especially seeing 4 Pokemon in that top lane. So instead, they decide they're going to go for a central area invade instead. Beautiful eject by that Suicune to go over that wall. The chase does not continue, and Talon are going to have to back up themselves and rethink, okay, what is the plan here? Central area or back to lane? And it looks like it's just going to be experience again, just so that they can hit their power spikes, and then they can figure out what they want to do for that mid game. But At the moment, it's still relatively even across the board. We're not seeing any major advancements in either of these teams. It's still very, very even. It's really going to come down to whether or not we see a major team fight win in a moment. And Zoro, they do get the knockout. And unfortunately for Talon, they don't get the counter knockout them. So actually, they do. They finally get it on that Zoro. And they will get another one in that Suicune. So all of a sudden, pretty big swing in favor of Talon.
Yeah, 2 KO streak for that Alolan Raichu. And now they are going to be at that level 8, closer to their Unite move to come. Otherwise, we do have an Engage coming in from that Snorlax, going in for a nap to just go and soak up all the damage that Komai are trying to bring to the table.
Oh man, this is the second time that we've seen Talon try and go for a bit of a skirmish, but then the Zoro is just in the right place at the right time and coming in with the punish and really preventing Talon from dishing out any more damage. Zoro's still there though, they've got to be a little bit careful. Beautiful block by the team just to make sure that the stun does not connect onto that Zoro. We have 3 in this bottom lane here for Talon, and if Komai want to try and advance onto this, it is a very, very dangerous lane to fight into because they do have a tank, they have a healer, and they also have a damage dealer. But I think once they realize up top, you have main core Pokemon up here getting that Regieleki. This is a sign for Komai to just go.
It is a sigh of relief for Komai being able to secure that Reg Ice. While it isn't the most favorable buff, only giving that HP regen over time, it is still going to give that global experience team-wide. But Talon, they're not going to give on up. Despite losing that basement objective, they're going to dive on in. But Toast, their Unite move, just wasn't impactful. They didn't end up landing the hit on anyone from Talon there.
Oh, a bit unfortunate. It looks like, Snorlax using the block again, pushing back the cross door. Eject buttons having to be used there so they don't get caught out. Oh, beautiful double stun, catching both the defender and the support. Snorlax is down, but the Alola Raichu using that Unite as well, but just not enough damage to finish through. But Suicune, the stun, the ice is there, and they even finish him off with the Latios. Oh boy, Talon getting punished here with this very aggressive play.
They are getting punished here, but Snorlax is back here to save the day with a huge heavy slam and block to push Komai into that flux zone. That way they get slowed. But Mewtwo is trying to deal out the damage as Latios is able to pick up 3 KO streak. They end up getting a quadra. Only the Mewtwo Y left remaining, able to go back to that berry and regen this HP. But some dunks end up going in, and Komai, well, they're left to retreat here because the defenses have arrived.
The defense finally arrived. They only lost the Zoro. I think it could have been much worse, but they did manage to escape in just the right moment at the cost of one of their teammates. But look, things are still looking up here for Komai. They do have a huge level lead over Talon. Talon are still sitting on some rather low-level Pokemon here. And unfortunately, the supports are not looking too healthy on their side. So hopefully they can get some experience over there. Suicune being advanced on by 3 Pokemon. Beautiful 3-man free. Zacian super low, and you can see this right now. The Zoroark, you see a low-health Pokemon, you know it's your call.
Yeah, well, they ended up attempting the dive onto that Zacian, but they quickly retreated and not looking to give Talon that KO. But another basement objective has spawned as we have Potato getting to work, shredding up this Reggie Rock. Rubble Rouse is going to come on out from Marv to try and interrupt this Zacian, and Komai Esports are able to secure themselves another basement Reggie. Talon are quite low, needing to hang about with this Moonlight and Pat to go in and look for some KOs of their own. But who members against one? Now they're just going to have to see if they can get another one on Narami. He's quite low.
They're still going though. That Zoro almost got a 4-man wipe. Just lost a little bit of gas in the middle of that attack animation. It should have gone in favor of Komai. There's not enough health. They got a beautiful snipe there to finish things off. I have to say that went a lot better for Komai than I originally anticipated. I thought Talon was going to come in and roll over them, but no, they fought the right targets. They picked their exit strategy perfectly, and they didn't line themselves up to just be wiped out by Talon one by one. I do want to point out here the Suicune is causing a lot of issues for Talon. I think multiple times we have seen multiple Pokemon getting frozen by this Pokemon, and unfortunately for Talon, every time they get frozen, that's a fraction of a second for Komai to decide, do we want to engage onto this? It is our turn to maybe jump onto Talon, because Talon Clefable's a great Pokemon, but when you're healing, you're grouping up.
Oh, they are grouping up indeed, but that defense is strong as RBX ends up getting denied that dunk, trying to moonwalk backwards, but the Rock Tomb and the Dragon Rush combo are going to shut down another member of Talon. 50 points looking to go on in, but even that is some great math coming out from Komai, now taking the lead at 207 to 153. 3 minutes left to this match, 1 minute until Rayquaza spawns.
Again, another case of the Suicune. The freezes coming out of Suicune is just causing absolute havoc for Talon. And they're really struggling to play around this Pokemon because it has so much range. Yes, you have ranged Pokemon yourself, that's there to deal damage, but too many times are we seeing Talon having multiple players, and especially key Pokemon such as a Alolan Raichu being caught by the freeze. You can't afford to be frozen, especially with how squishy this Pokemon is. Registeel getting locked in here by Komai. That's an attack buff. If they get caught here, that is it.
Yeah, well, Clefable ends up getting caught on out. They do end up respawning before Rayquaza comes on in. RBX playing it safe, using that heavy slam to get out of the way. Do not want to get caught on out. Otherwise, it is still a really close match heading into this final stretch. 207 to 173 in favor of Komai. But they are really looking in sync right now. It's just whether they can continue to overcome these final hurdles. Diving on in.
Oh, the dive coming in from the Garchomp, landing onto 2. The healer is down onto Talon, but do they have the firepower to turn things around? The Snorlax is low. Even the Alolan Raichu needs to back on out as well. But the Latios diving in deep, looking for that Alolan Raichu, and gets it as well. So now it's 4 players going up against 5. We still have the Zacian nearby, being jumped on by the Latios. They will be able to knock him out, but there's that.
That's a 35-second cooldown, but look at Rayquaza, it's low HP. Who's going to end up doing it? And it's a big Komai potato on the Garchomp to lock it on down. Only the Alolan Raichu that has spawned on in, and I'm able to stop these goals. And look at that, Crustle also picking themselves up a 2 KO streak for Danali. There's still a minute left on the clock, but is this going to be the point of no return for Talon?
Unless they get 50 points on every single Pokemon and they get complete knockouts on Komai, I do not see this comeback happening. It's a very, very slim possibility, but you have to remember, you have to deal with all of these Rayquaza shields, and especially on a Pokemon like Garchomp.
At level 15, 3 level 15s on the side of Komai. How do you even deal with that?
Exactly. So the comeback potential is very low for Talon, but sometimes you just got to give it a try. You've got to give it a shot, and this is the plan. They found that Garchomp. They're trying to jump on top of him. They finally break the shield, but the team is there. Latios is there to deal the damage. They've got the Crustle as well, and 2 Pokemon already hit the ground for Talon.
Oh, they have hit the ground. Crash landing there, unable to progress on through. Even though these little dunks are going to come on in, it's just not enough to make that difference. And Komai Esports here making a statement, wiping out the complete team of Talon there, looking for some more dunks in this home base.
Oh boy, Komai, they win the series. I mean, if you're Komai, you gotta be feeling great. You beat Talon, because Talon beat Kakalok, and Kakalok 2-0 Komai. What an interesting dynamic for this grouping, Kels.
It was an interesting dynamic, a very interesting match to watch. Super duper intense right until that last second. But, I mean, we were talking about this at the beginning. That 2-0 needed to come on through. So, well, where does this leave us, Danali? Who do we actually have progressing on through to day 2?
I do believe we're going to be getting an updated graphic in just a moment. So we're going to see all of the groups and all of the updates. So we'll keep that hidden, keep it a secret, but I know some of you guys do want to know who's making up to day 2. Because I do remember seeing in some of the chats for our stream, people questioning, did this team make it through? Did that team make it through? And we will be answering that question in just a moment.
And you know what? I'm glad that we don't have to figure that out, because that seems very cool. So,
yeah,
you know
I mean,
what?
If there's numbers involved, yeah. It's a bit much for us.
Okay, well, there we go. We're going to have a look at the replay. And, you know, we were talking about how scary Komai were this game. I mean, every single player really worked well together. The combinations that they were bringing on out, and I guess because of this, it just allowed Zante, I mean, in the backline on that Latios, to just scale so well, and it paired so well with Narami on the Suicune too.
I think Narami played such a big role in the team winning. Just getting so many clutch freezes on the side of Talon, and some people might just think these freezes they're just micro stuns. Like, what's the big deal?
They're annoying.
A stun's a stun.
They're annoying. A stun's a stun, exactly.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter how long the stun is. A stun's a stun. You take advantage of that. So that Suicune pick, I think, really ruined Talon. Even though they played up against it, like, you're also feeling it. It doesn't matter if it's like, okay, we're confident we can deal against it. Sometimes you have good games, sometimes you don't have great games. And Suicune is one of those Pokemon that make everyone feel and maybe look not so great.
Well, I mean, when you're constantly getting stunned by that freeze, it is definitely difficult to deal with. But otherwise, we'll have these questions answered very, very shortly to see who actually ends up making it out of this group on to day 2. I mean, it has been an incredible day so far here at the Pokemon World Championships for Pokemon Unite. We've already locked in some of those teams progressing on through, but I mean, we still have another match to come after this too.
Oh, it's a special match, in case you guys did not know. I don't think you can zoom in. If you could, it would be great to zoom into our faces, but if you can't, it is okay. The next matchup, in case you did not know, it is Luminosity versus Reject. It is probably the highlight match of the day. So if you did not know, now you know, you are in the know, sit your butt down. Don't go anywhere. You need to watch this matchup, because if you miss this one, I think you basically missed out on Worlds. So yeah, we're going to go for a quick break, folks. So if you need to do anything, do it now, but make sure you come back, because we've got Luminosity versus Rejects coming up right now.
We've got to rush. Don't want to miss it.